threat of disaster is never pleasant.
Welcome to the Casual Preppers podcast.
These safety measures are essential.
The only place for prepping, survival, and entertainment.
This will be your source of survival instructions and information. Every member of the family must be coached in the business of survival.
Here are your hosts, Cam and Kobe.
Hello,
Back
everyone.
Hello, everyone. How are you today?
This podcast is going to be very good.
You're gonna like it.
Yeah.
I think you are gonna like it.
Yeah, no, I think
to
it's
be
good.
honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the month of months.
It is. It's
For preppers, right?
It's prepper month.
Yeah.
I don't know, National
National Casual Prepper Month.
Casual Prepper Month. That's what yeah. Thanks, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate the respect. And,
No, it's,
dedicated
yeah, it
day.
is National Preparedness Month.
Yeah.
Right?
That's exciting.
So we decided we were going to do something special for that.
We are
correct?
going to do something special.
What are we going to
In fact, we're going to talk about 10 prepper items for National Preparedness
And
Month.
you won't believe number 9. Stick around.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Number 9 will make you turn off your radio.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. Got to make it catchy.
You did definitely do. So we're really excited to because we got cool stuff, right?
We do. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll wait for that introduction.
Perfect,
We
yeah.
don't need to talk about it right now.
But what we do need to talk about is battle box.
What we do need to talk about?
Yeah, what we do need to talk about is the battle box. I don't know what that was. We're gonna roll with it.
Arnold Bostonian.
Yeah, I think I think
Bostonian.
he lived in Brooklyn for a few
Yeah,
years
yeah.
too. Battle Box. It is the monthly subscription box full of solid gear for adventure seekers, survivalists, outdoor enthusiasts, and casual preppers. Each month, Battle Box sends you the coolest selection of hand-picked outdoor survival and everyday carry gear, all valued at far more than what you normally pay. You never know what's in the next box, but here's a sampling of what users received this month. The Dango M1. Dango, baby. The Dango H.O. baby. M1 Maverick Bifold Wallet Spec Ops.
Oh, I love their stuff. Still
so
using a
good.
wallet
Love
today
it.
from like 60 missions back.
Minutes ago?
60 missions back.
Yeah, man, for sure. How about the Wazoo cash cap?
Still got one of those too.
Put stuff up
Got
the
a bunch
wazoo.
of cash in it.
Yeah, all this badassness starts at just $34.99 per month. They've shipped over 1 million boxes and won best subscription box of 2020. Our listeners get a free knife when you sign up at battlebox.com/casualpreppers. Get your first battle box plus a free knife at battlebox.com/casualpreppers.
Listener reviews starts now.
Lucifer's Hammer.
Lucifer.
You mentioned this book a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
I had read it as a teenager and I am rereading it now.
Mhm.
I am totally loving it. Thank you so much for your fantastic show and recommendations. Al Hail Kal Hal
Yeah, via Apple Podcasts.
Al Hail Kal Hal.
All hail, Kal,
Kal,
hail, K.
I don't know. Just
Weird.
said something inappropriate.
It is what it is. Yeah. But if you guys want to be a part of this portion of the podcast, go to iTunes, go to Facebook, leave us a 5-star review. Make it awesome.
It's a mad, mad world.
Boy, the world is mad.
Yeah. There's too many of
Mad
the
things.
same things going on.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to talk about that crap.
I don't either. Yeah, we all know all the stuff, but this one right here is going to tug at your heartstrings and is going to make you scared.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
A white beluga whale named Havaldamir, first spotted in Norway, not far from Russian waters,
I heard about this.
with a harness that ignited rumors he may be a Moscow spy, has been found dead.
Oh,
I know. That's why I say it's going to tug at your heartstrings.
that is.
But it's also going to scare you. The 4.2 meter, and that's 14 foot for Americans, long, and 1,225 kilogram, that's 2,700 pounds for Americans, whale was first spotted by fishermen near the northern island of Ingoya, not far from the Arctic city of Hammerfest. I would love to live in Hammerfest, to be honest with you. Because every year you could have Hammerfest.
Yeah.
A festival
awesome.
about hammers.
So
Every single year.
What country's that? Norway?
I believe so, yeah.
Hammerfest.
Hammerfest.
I don't know. They speak perfect English.
Just like you.
Yeah, just like
You
me.
speak perfect
Gosh dang it.
English too. In April
Just blew it.
of
That
2019.
joke fell flat. I couldn't even pronounce my own country's language.
Oh man,
English.
this is the greatest. Okay, so yeah, he was spotted not far from the Arctic city of Hammerfest in April of 2019, wearing a harness and what appeared to be a mount for a small camera and a buckle marked with the text, Equipment, St. Petersburg.
Nice. Very, very discreet.
Yeah,
Very.
they'll never know. They'll never know this came from us.
Put the equipment, St. Petersburg on there.
Didn't Vladimir say he had a whale of some sort? Maybe we could put it on there and
Take these suspenders and put it on.
It's equipment from St. Petersburg, by the way.
Spy equipment from Russia.
Cross out the spy equipment. Don't want them to know.
Scratch it off.
Scratch off with a penny.
Send it to Hammerfest.
Hammerfest almost time in Hammerfest. They have a festival of hammers.
Get it.
Get it there.
Go get pictures of
I want to
Hammerfest.
see footage of this Hammerfest. Anyways, that sparked allegations that the beluga was a spy whale, obviously. Because experts said that Russian Navy is known to have trained whales for military purposes.
Heard that.
What? I mean...
To go down and find those cables
What?
to snip.
Yeah, it's just
Those
like...
communication lines, man.
How do you get to be on like the whale unit, the whale training unit? It's just how crazy is that? But anyways...
What's whale in Russian?
That's a great question. We do need to know that. Can you say it?
It says kit. Kit.
Kit?
Yeah. It's
kit.
K backwards NT, but pronounced kit.
Kit. Okay.
Good
Yeah,
digit, the kit.
I'm in the kit unit.
Kit Cloud Kicker.
Kit club. I am in the kit club. But anyways, I just thought that was sad that Valdemir has died.
It is
now.
sad.
Yeah.
Didn't get much done.
We don't know. He might have gotten quite a bit done, actually.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's like the 007 of the Russian spy agency, now dead.
Now
floating
dead.
in the sea.
Yep. There's actually a person inside a whale costume.
They'll never know I'm in here.
Ooh, do I sound like whale?
Beluga.
Do I sound like whale? You sound too Russian with your accent.
I don't know how to do it. Trying to make that little sonar sound.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, this will scare you. Just
Okay.
kidding. It doesn't.
Okay.
In the shadow of war, diplomats and experts seek to ban weapons from space.
I think they've already done that, haven't they?
I think they've continued to fight it.
Oh,
like,
okay.
no one's really come to an,
Agreement
on how they're going to do it.
I
But
thought it was banned.
diplomats along the military, industry, civil, and academic experts are gathering in Geneva this week for an annual outer space security conference hosted by the United Nations Institute of Disarmament Research, the UNIDIR. Yeah. Is also a deer without another testicle. The UNIDIR.
Poor little buck.
Driving the agenda, how to build cooperation across the international community as it works to prevent an arms race in outer space.
Yeah.
Paros. Yeah.
Okay.
The timing of the meeting is critical. Diplomats in efforts on Paros have been on a rocket to nowhere in the past 4 decades, buffeted by competing aims. Some states want to ban weapons in space, through a new legal agreement, while others are focused on anti-satellite capabilities that target space systems. So,
Okay.
there's going to be a space war. I'm telling you, man.
Well, we have a Space Force, right?
Yeah. So how do you create a space force, but then say you can't have weapons?
Can you karate chop in space? Like, can you just use your body?
So the
as a weapon?
space is the wild, wild west, man.
Yeah,
It's
without
gonna-
guns.
With
Without guns. Just riding a horse
Watch
in the
this dish is
desert.
going to fly around. Anything you throw is just going to keep it in motion.
That's
Like,
right.
Everything's a weapon, right? It
That's
never
right.
stops.
That's true. Like, how do you stop from a satellite coming right through the
Yeah.
International Space Station or
Yeah.
something?
Stray bullet's just going to keep going until it
I
hits
know.
some alien billion miles away.
Exactly. It's exactly what's going to happen, Cameron.
All the space shuttles should have, windshield insurance.
They
'Cause
should.
Stray bullets from different galaxies are going
yeah.
to be hitting and stuff.
Can't imagine the deductible on that.
I understand. I
don't
understand
know.
why they're getting rid of bullets and projectiles up in space.
Is what it is. Hey, today, Cam, we're really excited because we're going to talk about 10 prepper items to get you started. If you're one of those preppers, right, that just maybe haven't got anything done yet, or you're just thinking about it, right?
Or you did at one point and you're no longer doing anything for
Yeah.
your prepping.
Yep.
Maybe this episode about these 10 prepper items will kind of rekindle that fire.
Yeah.
Make you kind of like, I got to get a good look at those again and get it done.
Yeah. That's what you'd sound like, most likely.
That took 10 minutes to get out. 10 minutes of items that are 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
But we felt like during this National Preparedness Month, that we would kind of go over kind of the basic stuff, but the 10 most important parts to kind of get started.
Yeah.
For the beginners.
Yeah.
For the casual preppers, and for the experts that are going to criticize every piece of this.
Yeah, there's going to be, for sure, though, there will be.
We know you're listening, that's fine.
No, so, like, we know there are always those new interested preppers, those rookie preppers that are out there, and sometimes they come in and find an episode, and it just doesn't work because it's, like, too advanced, or we're talking about crap that, like, I don't want to do this. This is way too much. So this is a really great episode if you have friends that might be thinking about preparedness, or family members, or you yourself,
or
obviously.
If you couldn't tolerate the first, 50 episodes that we produced.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Maybe this will help.
Yeah, exactly. I hope so.
My speech at the beginning has proven that it's going to be rough to get through anyway.
But, you may not know it, but this is much better than it was. His speech is getting better.
Yeah.
You may not know it, but here we are. So we know we have, like, this upcoming election, which is stupid and dumb, and I hate it. And then there's, like, the state of the world where there's wars and things going on. There's more and more people are thinking about preparedness right now. So with this episode, again, we wanted to talk about what are the 10 items, if you were just going to go out and buy 10 items, that would cover most of the basic bases in preparedness. Yeah. If you're going to buy 10, these are the 10 that we suggest you go get. And we're not talking about very specific.
Yeah, it's not one item. It's number 10's not a knife or something. It's like kind of a
broad
general
category.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then we also just
false
wanted
advertising.
We wanted to know, let you know why it's even important to prepare a little bit, right? And it's not about always preparing for the end of the world. And I feel like a lot of new preppers come in and that's what they hear. They hear, like, zombies are coming, space wars are here.
Yeah. They can't agree on a weapons ban.
Yeah.
Get ready.
But a thing that we talk about a lot is called your personal apocalypse. And that doesn't mean, nuclear fallout. That doesn't mean zombies. This is like everyday stuff. Like your car breaks down, you lose a job, or you're dealing with a surprise medical bill or medical situation. How can you be more prepared for those things, right? The power goes out for a few days. It happens to everybody. So prepping itself will help you handle these situations without them turning into like a huge full-blown crisis. And we just think there are some really good reasons for you to begin preparing. And I put a couple of them down. Well, should we talk about them? These are my top 5. Number 1, saves you money and headaches. And this isn't actually in any sort of order of importance, but they're just... It's just the first one I had here. Saves you money and headaches. Obviously, being prepared means fewer last-minute expensive purchases when those emergencies do happen.
Yeah,
right?
Panic buying and stuff like that. He's like, get into trouble, man.
Yeah, and you can also avoid the price gouging when it happens during emergencies, which, remember COVID? There was a lot of that stuff going on.
There was a huge amount of price gouging.
Yeah, and you can avoid that. But also, you can budget. And you can get these things way in advance, and when it makes sense for you to buy them, when you have a little extra money, so you're not doing it all at the last second with money that you maybe shouldn't be using for that, or you didn't budget for, right? So it does save you money, and it does save you headaches. This one probably is the most important for me. Number 2, it reduces stress and anxiety.
It does.
And this is probably looked at differently from people on the outside.
They always think that we're paranoid and stressed out all the time.
Yeah. It's not true, Cam.
No.
We're not, especially about the things that you might think. I mean, I'm stressed out about stuff.
Me too.
Not necessarily about the stuff I'm prepared for, though. Like knowing that you have what you need to handle a situation for you and your family, it's peace of mind.
Yeah.
It's
we have a billion things to stress about. Having to not worry about having enough food and water for my family for a few days during something or a few weeks is a huge relief.
Yeah, and maybe we're weird because there's probably a lot of people out there that just don't even think about it.
It's crazy.
Ignorance is bliss. Like they don't. That doesn't matter. But we
might not need water.
We might not need water. One day
is going to teach us.
ChatGPT will figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Number 3, it keeps you safe. That's the one thing I think about constantly is how do I keep my family safe? I'm
Should be important.
responsible. I'm responsible for these human beings.
Yeah.
The person I married and the people we made together. I have to keep them safe.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Welcome to parenthood.
Yeah, freaking hard.
It's the worst.
Crappy. And I mean, it's fun at times, but it's also scary. But this is a good way to help keep them and you safe during unexpected events. It's very important. It increases your self-reliance. You are less dependent on other people for especially like in minor crises, right? And also, do you hate talking to people? Because I do. I
despise people.
I despise it. I don't want to talk to anyone I don't have to. And if we're in like a small little crisis and I have to go talk to my neighbor to ask for water, food, medical gear, information, whatever it is, I don't want to have to do that.
Yeah.
I'll
die.
I don't want to do it. What?
I'll just die.
I'll just die. I honestly
it's true.
might.
I hate asking other people for help.
Yeah.
You shouldn't feel that way,
No.
but we do.
I don't like it.
Most
I
of us
don't like
don't.
it. And that's why I feel like preparedness and self-reliance is so great because you don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Right.
So many people are not self-reliant.
No,
It
they're
just
not.
blows my mind.
No. They can't get through 3 hours of the day without somebody's help on something, right? Last thing is
Or somebody's input
input.
towards them.
Oh my gosh.
I need to have somebody say something about me.
Oh, yeah.
I need someone to comment about
Or they
it.
can't make a decision without input from other
Yeah.
people. I know lots of people that way. It's practical is the last thing I want to talk about. Everyday emergencies happen all the time. And it might not even be an emergency, but the situations that you can get in, if you're more prepared, is very practical to be prepared for these situations. So preparedness is practical. Put that on a t-shirt.
Done. I'm printing one right now.
Okay. Cam's going to the website.
It's a
to
good
figure that
idea.
out. Yeah. And so there are a lot of different situations where having these 10 items makes sense. Again, it's practical. How about you're stuck on the side of the road during a long road trip with no cell service? Maybe you ran out of gas because you were dumb, or maybe your battery died, right? And so having a way to call out is very important there. How about a sudden power outage? Maybe it lasts multiple
Probably
days.
one of the most common things now.
Oh my gosh, we have power outages every day. It seems like lately. And what if it's during the winter?
Dead.
Oh, you're dead. Maybe not if you're a prepper and you got these 10 items. We'll see. How about an unexpected boil water advisory due to a local water contamination? How often do we see this on the news?
I know.
Don't drink your water.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Or how often is it not announced when you know it's probably not safe?
Exactly, yeah. How about you're hiking with your family or something and you go off trail, you get lost in a remote area? How about you have to evacuate your home due to a fast approaching wildfire?
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Australia.
Hello, West.
California.
Yeah.
Right?
Western United States.
It's a bad deal. How about severe thunderstorm knocks out power, cutting off your access to news and updates? You don't know if Trump's winning the debate or if he's losing.
No one knows what's going on.
No
with
one
that.
still knows. How about a minor injury occurs while you're camping and you need some medical attention and you can't just run to the ER or to urgent care real quick? Maybe you need to know how to do that or have some stuff to be able to figure that out. How about a family member's medication runs out during a multi-day blizzard and you can't get down to Walgreens? Huh?
Yeah. No one thinks ahead like that.
No. And how about an unexpected job loss? It leads to a financial crunch. And now food, water, that stuff you've stored up is great to have on hand.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I don't know. Anyways, the key to all of this, and we're going to talk about
more
these items.
realistic stuff, yeah.
It really is. But when we're talking about these items, Cam and I aren't telling you to go down to Sportsman's Warehouse today and buy all 10.
Yeah, no.
Not a great idea. Start small. Okay? Yeah. That's the whole point of this is you don't have to do it all at once. You don't need a bunker full of supplies on day one to be prepared. Just pick a few essentials, and that's why we did this small list of 10. This is a great way to start, right? And make sure they're ones that make sense to your life and do it at a pace that makes it financially feasible for you as you're going. Again, don't buy them all at once. Buy one at a time.
Yeah.
It's a great way to go about it. Then you can keep them in your bag. You can keep them in a car. You can keep them in a closet at home. And as you start adding to your kit, you're going to feel more confident as you go. You're going to feel less anxiety. You're going to be ready to handle, whatever comes your way. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming or expensive. Just make sure that you're a little more prepared as you go.
Yeah.
So,
man, no, I think we should just wrap up the podcast there.
That's it, man.
All these details that you just
No, they
gave
want to
are
get to number
super
9. They
important.
can't wait for number 9.
Everybody keeps hitting that
Yeah.
15-second jump ahead.
And I'm still talking.
God damn. So the thing is, like, there's some tips before you get started building and collecting all of these items. You know, sorry, you ain't getting to number 9 yet.
Nope.
But when you're purchasing and looking at these supplies, like, consider some important aspects about this stuff. Durability, multifunctionality. Like, you want to make an educated decision on your purchases.
Right.
Don't just go out there and grab something from the Walmart. You need to spend a little time because there's some important things about the equipment, the gear, the items that you're getting that will make a difference in the long run.
And to be honest, that's kind of half the fun. Is to like research and learn about it, right?
No, it's great, and there's so much out there now. So the quality of the items that you include, is paramount. Like, durable, high quality gear can make the difference between life and death. I'm not saying go out and buy a backpack that's name brand that's $400.
Yeah.
Like, just be wise about the things that you're going to purchase.
And it's going to be dependent on your situation.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
the $400 backpack makes total sense for you.
Exactly. Maybe that's where you're at.
Maybe it's the $20 backpack.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to figure that out.
Exactly. So some things to look at and consider when you're building, when you're collecting some of these items. Reliability. Durable items are less likely to fail under stress. So you want something that's going to serve its purpose and not break after a few days.
Yeah.
You really don't want to buy cheap stuff, never use it, and then when you need to use it, it's garbage.
The whole point of it is to help you in these situations. And if it breaks day one, that's not super helpful.
Yeah. And I know these things, like, it can make it a little more stressful, but you don't have to follow every one of them.
No.
I'm just saying, like, take some time, make some good decisions on your purchase.
Things to consider. Don't just find the first thing that comes up on TikTok Shop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, take a little
the TikTok,
time.
the TikTok shop, man.
Yep.
Yeah. My son got scammed on one.
Did he?
Luckily, the bank reimbursed him.
Oh,
But I'm
that's
like,
good.
they don't have any, like, they
Yeah.
can just post and say whatever.
Yep.
And they're not a real store.
Yep.
So, longevity. High quality materials and construction can extend the lifespan of your gear, reducing the need for frequent replacements. And that's the thing. It's like, this may be the last equipment that you're able to purchase, buy, and use. So, you want something that's going to last. And sometimes paying a little more for that higher quality because of this is worth it. Safety. Emergency situations, compromised equipment can pose safety risks, for you and your family. Something that you're relying on helping you survive might break or cause, back pain or hurt you more than it's worth.
Look, I've had some really cheap knives before that like opened on their own kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like I've cut myself before.
Right.
Like that's a safety problem. So make sure that,
Exactly.
again, that isn't an issue.
In a poor backpack, zippers break, you lose some of the gear along the way that you didn't know, or it sits funny and it causes like back pain, hip problems, stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
Efficiency and multifunctional use. Like, there's a lot of gear out there that can serve multiple purposes. And that's probably one of the more exciting things about prepper gear. It's like, I can buy, a multi-tool, or I can buy a 4-in-1 Zippo hatchet or axe that is a bow saw, a hatchet, fire starter. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there that can serve multiple purposes. Even like bug out bags and backpacks, like, they can be used for a good travel gear that you use, for trips. And then you can also have it prepared at all times to bug out.
That's why I use my EDC pack that way. It's my EDC pack for everyday use, but anytime I go
basically
on a
what
trip,
my work pack is.
It's my carry-on.
Yeah.
Because it's so nice, dude.
Yeah, when we go stay at a hotel or go out to, to my family, that backpack that I take to work every day, the front pockets are all structured with survival gear. It's got all that stuff, but it doesn't look, tactical, and like, it doesn't look like I'm packing, like a week-long backpack with me everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And peace of mind, knowing that your survival kit contains dependable quality gear is a sense of security and sense of confidence, so you don't have to worry as much about it breaking and being an issue. Key considerations also with durable items. Material. Choose items made from sturdy materials such as stainless steel, titanium, nylon, high density a polyethylene, the stitching, research how well it's been done. And it's important in the long run. Construction, see who constructed it. Like, where is it made? Like a lot of these stores, like you were saying on TikTok, a lot of it, fancy looking videos and pictures, and they put a ton of money into promoting and commercializing it, but it's garbage.
Yeah.
It looks great, and they spent all their money on
marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's truly just garbage. So yeah, look for good construction, read reviews, not from just one place. Amazon is not a trusty, like Amazon review garbage. It's
They're all
like
being paid. A lot of them are.
So research the product in other places. Brand reputation.
This is big.
This is huge.
Yeah.
And a lot of brand stuff, I will say, is of higher quality. It's been around a long time. But things change. COVID changed a lot of the industry.
Yeah,
a lot of brand name stuff is now pretty trashy. I find Reddit is a good place to look at customer use and reviews. You can search about anything in there, and people will give you their honest opinion on using it versus other things and how good the quality is.
Yeah.
So, but I tend to look at brands because they've been around and, they're represented. But the problem is the price can be really high.
It can.
Like a travel backpack from, one of the main name brands is like $400. And you can find something that's a decent quality that people have used and researched or reviewed that costs half the price. But it's tough. I do like brand stuff because usually it's been around longer and it's been tested by more thoroughly, but there's a lot of biased reviews on brand stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Maintenance, consider items that are easy to maintain and repair. There's a lot of complicated gear out there.
There is.
It needs very specific, unique batteries and stuff like that. Like, make it simple. Stuff that and trust that you've used before. It's not complicated. It's probably the better way to go, especially in a survival situation.
The hard part about that is sometimes you haven't used any of it.
Yeah.
So you've got to test it out if you can.
And that was something I had at the end of all of this. The most important thing is whatever you get and buy, you got to use it. You got to test it. Well, that was actually one of the next things right there. It was after versatility. So again, look for stuff that you can use multiple ways through your day, through your life. It's hard to buy and spend money on stuff that you're just going to put away and never touch. I understand that.
Very
so that's
hard.
why we love EDC gear because it's daily use stuff that you can take with you, can swap it out, and it's useful in every day.
And it gets you more prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it can also be thrown into a bag for long-term survival. And again, the most important thing with all this is testing it. When you get your gear, no matter if it's name brand or off brand or whatever, take it out, use it, understand how it works, understand where it's, the weak points and how to replace it or how to fix it. Because doing it during an SHTF or long-term event, you're not going to be able to replace anything.
No.
Again, cost, be cautious with that. Name brand is going to cost you, and sometimes it's worth it and sometimes it's not.
Yeah, sometimes the cost is worth it. You get a Leatherman, it's going to get replaced if it breaks.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, those types of things are worth a lot.
For sure.
They're worth a lot, yeah.
And for us, we've had different packs. I stand by Eberly stock stuff.
I do too, man.
The comfort, the structure, the build, the feel, it's worth it. It's worth the cost.
And
if you have the money for it.
We each have 2 of their packs, and we use them both frequently.
Yeah. But I can understand it. They're costly.
They are.
But man, they're worth it. But yeah, so invest in durable, high-quality items for your survival kit. Yeah. Spend time researching it, try it out, and make sure you're not just, grabbing something to get it done and over with and, on the list. So
exactly. So talking about the list, maybe we should just get started.
Finally.
With number
Let's stop
one.
for number 9.
We're a half hour into it. Let's get going. The number 1 is sort of it's a combo. It's water, and it's also water filtration, right?
Anything surrounding water, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this is where the basics start with preparedness. Water is non-negotiable. It has to be at the top of your list when it comes to your preparedness plan and with your preparedness gear. It has to be. You can survive weeks without food. Food's going to be on this list too. Spoiler alert. But water, you can only go. You can only go 3 days without water.
Actually, what is number 9?
What is it, number 9? That'd be hilarious.
What is number 9?
I don't even know. So that's why having access to clean water for at least 72 hours is a foundational step in any preparedness plan, right? So how much do I start with? That's something that people ask us all the time. Well, how much water do I have to have? Do I have to have 7,000 gallons? When you're starting out,
7,000 gallons.
7,000 is great. 7,000 gallons is great. But when you're starting out, let's start with the bare minimum. Start small. Always. I always suggest that. Even if you have the means to go bigger, just start small because you're going to learn more as you go. So it's just good to start. And what does the government say? FEMA says you should have 1 gallon of water per person per day for a minimum of 3 days. So if it's just you need 3 gallons of water. I mean, that's pretty dang easy.
Yeah.
That's not hard at all to do, right? This amount covers drinking water and sanitation needs. And this is like that perfect place to start with when you're beginning your preparedness journey. If you do this, if you get 72 hours worth, you're ahead of most people.
Yeah.
You're doing good, right? And then the next steps.
The numbers with water is easy.
Oh, so
1
easy.
gallon per person.
Yeah, I
like
know.
1 and 1.
1 and 1. I guess if you're over in England,
And then a lot
you're
of people
thinking
are like,
liters.
that's too much, or that's like, it really is. That's a good amount.
Exactly.
Like, it's probably more than most drink, but for all the other uses, it's perfect.
Yeah, and if you're in England, I don't know what to tell you. Liters don't make sense to me. So good luck.
Is it liter or litre?
Litre, I don't know. Petrol, is it gas? Nobody knows. You guys are on your own over there.
Yeah.
Anyways, then the next step, once you have that 3 days, okay, now I'm going to move to the next step, and that's 2 weeks. Right? So do this in increments, but water is so important. And let's talk about the filters before we go any further, because these are very important. A lot of times water is compromised, and if you don't have water on hand, at least you have a filter where you can make water safer to drink. Not always completely safe, but safer, right? We always suggest a Sawyer Mini.
Yeah.
It is the perfect place to start. It's like $20, and it does 100,000 gallons.
Yeah,
Of
it's insane.
water.
It's so much filtration.
It's ridiculous. It's going to filter out the bacteria, the protozoa, and all the other harmful crap that's in there. And this is perfect for emergencies at home, but it's also perfect if you have to bug out or if you
That's
have
what
to
I like
leave.
about it, man.
It's
It could
portable.
be an inline filtration for your like camel pack or whatever.
Yep. So that's going to be one of the items you're going to think about here. And it's $20. Very, very easy to do. Another thing to do within that for water purification is tablets. I don't like these as much because I always feel like my water tastes weird.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
When I'm using a filter, I don't taste that. Usually.
And there's a specific, it's like, use this many tablets
Exactly.
for this much water. It's like, that's too complicated.
You have to do some math.
I just want to stick a filter in and start sucking.
Yeah, but they're great because they're lightweight, they're super compact.
Yeah, you can carry a tiny bottle
Yeah.
of them with, what is
And
that filter?
they're inexpensive.
Yeah, they're super cheap.
They're super cheap, right? And if you don't have access to a filter, and also if you need to filter large quantities of water right away, it's a great way to do it because you don't have to suck through that little thing. You know what I mean? Every time
Or
you can
have
just-
everybody else suck through that thing too.
Everybody's sucking.
Ugh.
Yuck, that's disgusting. Anyways, you just drop them in, you wait the amount of time it says, and now you have some drinkable water, right? And so that's really good. So let's talk about storing water, because storing water at home is the most critical piece of this, having it
And the
at
biggest
home.
pain in the butt
It's
too.
a pain in the butt, but you need to do it. This means having those, few gallons tucked away in a closet or in the basement or whatever it is, or you can invest in larger containers like water bricks
They're awesome.
or barrels. That does get more expensive when you do that, but
Mm-hmm.
you can really up your game that way. If the water bricks are awesome, but they are not cheap.
They're not.
But they stack so nicely. They come in, in these little pieces that you can throw in the truck easily. If I had to leave it with my 55-gallon barrel of water, that's not happening. It's staying where it's
I
at,
know.
right? So that's why those are kind of nice. But look, a really easy thing to do is just buy some flats of water bottles. Throw them. You don't have to complicate this. This is very
Right.
easy. Like, don't make it hard. And that's part of the issue is people get into this and they make it harder than it needs to be.
That's the other thing with the Sawyer Mini is the threads.
Yeah, right
will go on the
of
top
those.
of almost every
Yeah,
like
man.
water bottle or something.
You do need to think about this a little bit because you need to rotate. Well, You don't have to do this, but you should. Best practice is rotate that water every 6 months or so. Check expiration dates if it's
I'm
commercially
going on
bought.
2 years in my
I know,
blue
I know, me too.
jugs.
But I did treat it. I chemically treated mine. If you're storing it properly, you don't really need to worry about it.
Yeah.
It's water. It's going to be fine. But store it properly. Otherwise, you need to rotate that stuff, right? And then again, like Cam was talking about, make sure you understand how to use those filters. Make sure you understand how to use the tablets before, so you're not like in a
taking a tablet and then drinking behind it with some
shaking your body, whatever you you know what I mean? Yeah.
Swish it around in your mouth.
Make sure you tried it and you know how to use it, and if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's water, number one.
That's like, water's weird. It's like super easy, but it's also a little complicated because everybody worries about it the most. It's like,
For sure.
I want to store it, but I think it's all going to turn toxic and poisonous. Yeah. Just get it stored.
Just get it.
Like, it's really not that complicated.
Yeah.
The next one is food. Obviously,
Yep.
you gotta have that water. Then you gotta have some food to go with it. And food, this is where prepping can get real deep. There's a lot of details of different types of foods and variety, but you can keep it really simple. Like, for one, most important right off the bat is just work on that 72-hour emergency kit for you and your family. That's not very hard.
No.
It's just a matter of getting it done. And so they have pre-made kits. You can look online for all kinds of different ones for calorie content. Like, it is not a hard thing to do. And a lot of people don't even do this.
Yeah,
So,
just go get one of those I know it's probably not the best food, but if you can get that 72-hour kit, you're just like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I got that 72
Yeah.
hours. So easy.
It is. So one of the first things when we were married was, I can't remember.
The
if
honeymoon.
We bought, the 72-hour honeymoon kit.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
Pre-made online you bought, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, is we got a 72-hour kit. I can't remember if we built one or if we bought one or if we got one. Either way, that was one of the very first things that we had in our closet was a 72-hour kit.
Yeah.
I felt so good about that.
Dude, it's awesome.
It's like, man, we live forever.
Yeah. 72 hours at least.
But it's surprising how many people don't have this. So start with the 72-hour kit. And like I said, there's a lot of different options. You can, probably one of the easiest things is just to buy one because most of them are going to last 5 up to 20 years.
Up to 30. There's some other 30.
So
yeah,
get it.
Yeah, get it.
So food selection. Obviously, when you're going with, so there's a lot that goes with food, like I said again, but when you're going with something kind of quick and easy to put together for you and your family, choose foods that have a long shelf life and don't require refrigeration. Freeze-dried is a good choice. Non-fatty foods are a good choice because they don't go rancid and they don't expire as quickly. Yeah. And usually most of the things that you buy are going to give you the date on there. Yeah. Best Buy, but they'll also, you're not going to get it at Best Buy, but it'll say on there how long. And this is, I'd say starting out, because you want to do like short term, medium term, but like really I would look at just getting the 72-hour kit and then looking at some longer term stuff because it's the easiest thing to do first. And then looking at a variety. Include a variety of foods that ensure nutritional balance. That's the hard thing is like right off the bat, when I first started prepping, I went and bought like 25-year shelf life. It's crazy to think I'm like halfway into the lifespan of that.
Got to eat them soon.
And you never want to use it. That's the hard thing. So looking at a variety of foods, it's like I got like a tote full of stroganoff. That's going to be miserable. Yeah. But I do have it, which is good. And
it'll keep you going.
Yeah. But you should really look at there's a lot of variety out there, especially through all these companies. Like Mountain House has excellent stuff. Nutrient Survival. You got Wise Foods. You got Patriot Pantry. And just kind of intermixing those. And there's a lot of different, we've had so many different
Peak
flavors
Refuel.
and options. Peak, man. It's got some
good stuff.
really good tasting stuff. Yep. So it's easy. I mean, you can go pick this up at any like outdoor sportsman area, and then you just throw a few packs in. You can put them in a bag. They're portable, like super easy to do. Yep. The other thing to consider is easy preparation. You don't know what the situation is going to be. Yeah. Power's going to be out. If you have an electric stove, microwave, that's all you have. It's going to be tricky. So stuff that can be easily heated or mixed with a little bit of water and is good to go is important to have for starting out because you're using little supplies to have food ready to go. The other thing is categories like canned goods. They have longer shelf lives, not the full 25 to 30 years, but you're getting easy to use food that's ready to go that's going to last a year to 2 years. Dried foods, pasta, rice, oats, nuts, if stored properly, they can last a couple of years. Energy bars and snacks. They have a lot of MRE-based bars that are also that are like MRE bars that are like energy and snacks and stuff like that you can throw in that aren't just straight up like dry piece of manna, that like the MRE bars are. And then canned meats and fish. This is one thing I've been looking at recently is I really need to get more canned, like dried chicken. And like I was just looking at Mountain House. They have like those number 10 cans because that stuff's hard to store. Like if you hunt and you use a freezer, like that's great. But for other people and other, like if your freezer is compromised, you've got to have meat in other forms, bottled or freeze-dried, stuff like that. Storage tips. Number one thing, and the biggest thing I regret is I didn't inventory right off the bat. The reason you inventory is because you know when to rotate. You know when things are expiring. You know the calories and the content and the variety. Like if you don't start with an inventory, it gets mixed up fast.
Yeah, you new preppers, do this as you begin.
Yeah.
Do it.
So with food and starting, like keep an inventory. I have that can rack, that's supposed to keep the older stuff coming to the front, so you're using it more often. That gets mixed up like every single time we get groceries.
In the middle
and I can't get it out and push it back in. Don't rely on something like that. Like you really should have a list. So start with an inventory, and then make sure that inventory has in it, 6 month to 12 month rotation. So you're using the food, you're not letting stuff go to waste. And then labels, a list of what items and the purchase date, like written on top, and hopefully it's on the label. Like number 10 cans, you usually have to write it all on there. And then keep it in a cool, dry place. I store it down. Obviously most people that have a basement, that's where they're going to store most of their food, but keep it out of the sun and keep it in a place that the temperatures don't fluctuate a lot, which is pretty easy. I mean, you can put it in your closet in your bedroom.
Yeah, for sure.
So portable supply consideration, like bug out bags, we won't go into a lot of detail about them, but it's basically 72-hour survival kit for you that when you're going to have to leave immediately. And it has both food and water, supplies, money and stuff like that. But this is a good place to look beyond your 72-hour kit. Is either that kit's going to be portable, like it's in a backpack form, which they have those that you can buy, or the next thing that you want to build is like a bug out thing, so that if you have to leave your location, your house or whatever, then you have a kit that's ready to go with some food and water in it. Additional things to consider: special dietary needs. A lot of people have all kinds of gluten allergies and families with food allergies and stuff like that. So it's easy to buy a kit that has a lot of a lot of stuff ready to go, but sometimes you're gonna have to customize that based on your family's needs. And don't forget that, because that'll be rough. And then morale boosters. Don't forget candy, treats, and things that are good if you have kids, because eating the same stroganoff day after day.
Or you got the sweet tooth. You don't have to have kids.
Sweet tooth, yeah. But storing like the good things, the snacks and stuff, for a long term hunker down scenario where you can't leave the home for a few days, like you're going to want to have that stuff on backup. And then the caloric needs, like they calculate, approximately about 2,000 calories per person per day is what they recommend you aim for. So a 3-day supply for a family of 4, you're looking at 24,000 calories. That's another thing when you do the inventory, is you can write in there how much calorie content, so that you kind of know. It's like, I do have enough, but for 4 people, I'm a little shy of 3 days. And so it's just important to kind of calculate that stuff.
Don't rely on the serving sizes. Always look at calories.
Serves 1 to 15.
It's like, no, always look at calories.
But key points there: just make an inventory, start with 72 hours, build from there. And like one of the easiest things is just as you're doing your grocery shopping and your lists, add a few more extra cans and maybe some pasta and stuff like that you can store away.
Absolutely. Number 3. This is a great one. Multi-tool or knife. We talked about EDC a little bit already. Multi-tool or knife. It could be either or, okay? We talked about EDC. Again, if you're new, EDC means everyday carry. It's stuff that you're carrying with you every single day. And that's why it's so important, we feel, and it's a great place to start with in these 10 items. These are for regular everyday tasks, but they can also be extremely useful in any sort of SHTF or emergency situation. And that's why they're great. Again, multi-use items, right? If it's a multi-tool, it's in the name.
Duh.
Cam. So that's why the number one item we usually start with when it comes to EDC is a knife or a multi-tool, because they have so many things it can do. It can cut stuff. If you didn't know, you can cut through rope or paracord. It can open Amazon packages. It's just, you use it all the time.
Number one use.
Number one use is Amazon packages. Food preparation. Whether you're making a meal at home or out in the wild, you got to cut fruit and vegetables and meat. And you can even skin clean a rabbit if you had to. You know what I mean?
It's true.
You can do a lot of stuff.
I probably
with this.
use my EDC knife while traveling to like cut a hot dog or cut like a sandwich in quarters or something.
For sure.
More than I use it for anything else.
Absolutely. You can open cans and bottles. Obviously, a lot of the multi-tools come with a can opener, so that's great for that kind of stuff. And first aid, you can help cut bandages, clothing, medical tape. You have pliers on there. Maybe you can remove splinters, or if you got to, stitch somebody up. You can do a lot of different
You get the
stuff.
nice ones with the toothpick.
That's right, the toothpick. That's a good idea. Self-defense. Now, I don't suggest using a multi-tool for self-defense or an EDC blade, but it is there as a supplement to your self-defense. Can be used. You can build a shelter with this stuff. You can cut branches down and all that kind of weird crap. Fire starting, if you don't have a knife when starting a fire, it's going to be tough.
It really
to be
is.
honest.
It really is.
If you have a ferro rod, you need to create those sparks. If you need to make some, feather some wood out, a lot of stuff you can do there. Basic repairs. If you have a screwdriver, that's the biggest thing with me is I use the screwdrivers constantly on those things. And that's in a pinch. That's in an SHTF situation and all that kind of stuff. Fishing and hunting, obviously. What if you're in your car, you're upside down in a lake, and you got to cut through that seatbelt? You got a knife on you. You can do that, obviously, right? So because of all of these many uses, we included a knife and multi-tool in the top 10 items to get you started.
You have
for
to.
more prepared.
You have to.
Right?
Like, there's just so many uses.
There really is.
Go over them one more time.
Yes. Maybe I'll just add one more. You can stab your co-host with it. No, but so here's the thing. When you do this, try and carry it every single day. If you don't carry it with you, it's not useful.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point about EDC. Get you a damn knife.
Yeah.
Keep it in your pocket.
No, that one should have been number 9.
It probably should have been.
Next, number 4, first aid kit and meds.
Mm-hmm.
So, a well-stocked first aid kit is essential for any prepper. Like, how many times a week do you usually have to use something medical?
Several.
An ibuprofen, a Tylenol.
No.
I don't know, Percocet,
Band-Aids.
whatever you're into.
Yeah, all the good
You're
stuff.
always using something weekly that comes from like your medicine cabinet.
Yep.
So you have to build a well-stocked first aid kit for you and your family. We always recommend building your own.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are a lot of kits out there, a lot of brands, and so you can totally do it that way. It's nice and easy. But if you don't know what's in there, if you don't use the items in there, which, you hope you don't, but
You will.
building your own gets you kind of familiar with different medical supplies and also the quality of the medical supplies. There's a ton of trashy ones out there.
Oh, they're so
The
bad.
tape is like, it doesn't have
It's just
any
like-
adhesive on it. The Band-Aids are stickers.
It's like wet.
The tweezers are plastic.
it's horrible.
It's pure garbage. So build your own. And so some of the essential items that are going to go into this, obviously bandages of some sort, adhesive bandages like Band-Aids of different sizes. You can buy a variety pack from
Look, when
every
we
store.
say first aid kit, we're basically just meaning you need Band-Aids.
Yeah. Seriously, that's the number one thing in those, right?
I have like
That's
10,
the thing that gets used up the most.
I have 10 at the house. None of them have Band-Aids left. None of them.
Every time.
Yeah.
So that's why, building your own, I would go overboard with the
Band-Aids.
Band-Aids.
Go bonkers.
Especially if you have kids.
Yep.
And then gauze and medical tape and other self-adhesive bandages are important. Wound care, antibiotic ointment, hydrogen peroxide, alcohol, tweezers, scissors, stuff like that to just kind of cut and trim the bandages and the tape and stuff like that. Pain relief. So you can buy individual packets. Like they even have one on Amazon that has like a huge variety of individually packed like ibuprofen, Tylenol, aspirin, antihistamines, antidiarrheal, and stomach meds. Like pretty nice. Or just go buy a bottle of 100 of them, keep them in the back, and buy another 100. Because you go through them pretty often.
Yeah.
It would suck to run out of ibuprofen at the beginning of some pandemic.
Yep,
and
the worst.
And everybody uses it all up. So they're easy, they're available. Make sure you stock up on them. Emergency supplies like tourniquet, CPR mask, emergency blanket, first aid gloves. They're not something that you normally use. And that's why building a kit, you would include these things, or they'll come with it, that are important to have in the kit just in case of a little more advanced emergency.
Yeah.
Essential medical gear also to consider if you're taking care of, sick kids, syringes for dosing medications, thermometer, safety pins to hold bandages and stuff in place, and then instant cold packs.
Thermometer's big, dude. It's like I can never find the thermometer in the house.
I know.
It's like you have to have 3 or 4.
Yeah, we use them so often.
Yeah.
It's like every day you're like, are you sick? Sundays for church, you're like, you
Yeah.
sure? I'm pretty sure you're sick.
Holding it up to the light bulb for a bit. I think he's sick, babe.
For the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not for yourself. And then additional considerations, survival kits that you can also throw in, like a bug out bag or your vehicle. So you build the one at home with all that stuff that we went over, but also have one that's portable, that's either in your car or in your bug out bag, kit that's ready to go. Specialized needs. Depending on your medical conditions, there's going to be a lot more advanced kits and gears and catheters and whatever else for your age and your problems.
Yeah.
Just make sure you have backup supply of those if you're dependent on them daily and weekly.
Dialysis machines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Trauma and ER experience, obviously, there's advanced kits out there for this stuff. If you have experience and you know how to use it, then you can move to that stuff.
Yeah.
Get the basic stuff first. The stuff like the Band-Aids, the medicines, the wraps.
Antibiotics.
Get all that stuff first. And then if you have more medical experience and want to have a more advanced kit, then move to that.
Yeah.
Don't forget your prescription meds are part of this.
Such a big deal.
So many people rely on calling the clinic same day and getting a prescription refilled within a day or two. Oh, so many that it drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Because they've either missed the time that they're supposed to refill their medicine and the pharmacy won't anymore.
Yeah.
Or they just, some meds I understand are 30 days, but see if you can get anything moved to 90 day, even if it involves changing the brand so that you get something that's covered by insurance or cheaper. So that you have several, days and months ahead of when your prescription ends. Very important. First aid training, it probably is worth the time to invest a little more time and to get your CPR license and all of that stuff so that you know what you're doing. And then update your kits regularly, check on your items, make sure the medicines in them haven't expired, make sure the nitrile or the latex gloves aren't just going to tear through. I have so many that I put them on. It's like they just rip.
They're just powder.
They're all completely degraded. I'm
Yeah.
like, holy crap. Band-Aids literally turn into stickers. They don't adhere
That
to
don't
anything.
stick anything. Yeah.
So check on those things, especially if they're in a car and exposed to changes in heat. They break down way faster.
They definitely do.
So
First
anyways,
aid kit. That's a good
basic
one.
stuff on first aid kit.
How about number 5, Cam? You'll never believe what number 5 is. A portable power bank or a solar charger. This is kind of the more sexy stuff to me, right? We're on our phones. We're using devices constantly. And when you lose those things, it's not good. You feel like you're disconnected from the world. And obviously communication is so big. And these phones, they're not just for texting. They're not just for calling, but we use it for navigation. We use it for weather, emergency alerts, and entertainment when you get stuck somewhere. So that's why they're you need to keep them going when things go sideways. And that's where that portable power bank really comes in handy.
Don't get caught up in those hardcore preppers that are
no.
Don't be relying on any digital. This is a digital world.
It is. And we are digital girls. Okay.
I thought about you.
But communication, again, it's so important. It's one of the most important things in an emergency because communication means information and you understand what's happening. Losing your devices could be life or death. And if you have kids, it's definitely life or death. You know that, right? So you have to keep, and it's not just.
They will die without it.
It's not just an emergency. Just a trip to the store and your phone dies or something. You could plug something in and you keep going, right?
You're like, where am I?
What is it?
How do I get home?
What is And for longer term situations, obviously something like a solar charger could be a huge game changer, or even just like a long backpacking trip or something. These things are great. You can be off grid for several days, and you can use the sun to keep powering your devices. Some things to think about, and Cam knows a lot about this stuff too, but when you're picking a power bank, make sure that you have at least 10,000 milliamps. That's like bottom of the barrel.
That's where I would shoot for too.
Like, I don't know if you would go any lower than that. Maybe you would, but that's basically, you can
The
charge
only
it.
ones I would are like the slim ones
The
that can
tiny
attach to the back of your phone.
Yeah,
or
those are
something.
great.
Super
Yeah.
nice, but they're usually not like high
Yeah.
milliamp.
Like 10,000 milliamps, you can probably charge a normal smartphone several times. So I think that's why that's great. And make sure it's compatible with all your devices. Make sure it's easy to carry. And then when you go to the solar chargers, man, most of that stuff is garbage, but you have to try it out.
It really is garbage.
Most of it is just not
Unless
great.
it folds out to like an acre worth of solar panels.
Yeah.
It's not going to be
great.
But it is, but it will work.
It's useful still. So just make sure that you've tested them and they work great if you're going to rely on them in sort of an emergency situation. So again, having this reliable backup power source, it's really one of the easiest ways to make sure you're ready for unexpected things to happen. You know, that random blackout or whatever personal apocalypse hits, you need to be ready for it.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm so into that stuff, but
it's fun.
Like, I always want to buy a charger when I see a deal.
I know for
I'm like,
sure.
I want another one.
You know what I always want to buy? Element.
Drinking one right now.
Didn't know electrolyte deficiency or imbalances, they can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, weakness. And as people who want to be prepared and ready for anything, the last thing you need is something that will slow you down when you need to be ready the most. That's why we at Casual Preppers have teamed up with Element. It is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing that you don't. We should have included this as one of the items.
I was going to say,
it should be
it
number 9.
should be with the water, right?
Exactly.
It's so boring.
And it's perfect for bug out bags. It was perfect for EDC kits. And it has this science-backed electrolyte ratio. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. And they taste delicious.
They do.
Casual Preppers listeners can get a free Element sample pack when you make any purchase through our exclusive Casual Preppers link. And that is one packet of every flavor. And that's beautiful. They offer no questions asked refunds on all orders. And this offer may be claimed by first-time and returning Element customers, you guys. Every time you order, use our link and you're going to get that free sample pack. And our link is drinkelement.com/casualpreppers. That's drinklmnt.com/casualpreppers. And make sure to check out Element Sparkling because it's delicious.
It is delicious.
And it's bubbly.
Yeah.
That's drinklmnt.com/casualpreppers.
Perfect. So this is another obsession of mine.
It is, yeah.
Number 6, flashlight / blackout kit.
Yep.
So, one of the most common things that we experience in the U.S. in any town, city, state is power outage.
Yeah.
Like, our system is a little bit fragile.
It is.
And so, losing power, not being able to navigate through the dark is kind of a big deal. And so, and then camping, and then in your car. I mean, there's so many uses for a flashlight. But they are essential items in a prepping plan. Some sort of flashlight, lantern, battery-powered LED light, candles, anything to light up your life.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
That's right.
So they make a lot of, there's a ton out there. The thing I like about some of the like prepper survivalist flashlights are that they can dual as a weapon, or like they have like the little strobe effect to kind of fend off people that are attacking you. Like you get more out of the light. But most important is make sure you have some sort of backup lighting in your home, because those power outages are getting longer and longer anymore.
They are, yeah.
It went from like 3 days to 5 to now 7 days without power. That's a long time.
It really is.
And lighting is going to be one of the biggest problems you'll deal with. So invest in a good flashlight. And try to avoid the ones that take the weirdo batteries.
I know. They're a pain in the butt.
Some of them I understand. You get a lot more battery life. So just make sure you're prepared for that. Like some way to plug into either like a battery backup to charge that light. And then again, they have solar flashlights. And these are probably the only solar thing that actually works pretty well.
Yeah,
because
they give you
because they're very low power. I mean, an LED light doesn't take anything. So
and especially like something like the Solar Home 620 from BioLite.
Oh my gosh,
it's one of our favorite items ever.
Yep. I still have one in my shed today, and it's worked flawlessly. I haven't had any issues with it.
Can't recommend it enough.
So, and that's like whole home lighting or a large location. And then, but look into different forms. Candles are super cheap. Like you can buy like a 100-pack for $5.
And they're romantic.
Of those little
they're so romantic.
And kids love it.
Oh yeah, they love romanticism.
No, I'm sorry. Kids love candles.
Oh, they love candles. Yes.
They just like lighting in general.
Sure.
It's like, the power's out. First thing they do, go find the flashlights and then light a candle.
Exactly.
But yeah, there's different forms too. Like I was saying, there's solar, there's hand crank, and then there's a variety of batteries. Having backup batteries is important with your lights.
I like rechargeable ones.
Me too.
Even if it's a weird battery, a lot of them are rechargeable, so I don't really
care.
And
even nowadays, like it's dumb not to have the ones that you can plug directly into the battery. You don't have to have a charger.
Exactly.
Super nice.
That's great.
Communication, other things to go along with this is you can buy like a flashlight / radio that also will, and you'll talk a little more on the radio.
I will.
But also like cell phone and stuff that's going to die, you can use like a battery. Those battery backups have a little light on them, like almost all of them do, which is really nice. So you kind of get your flashlight and your portable power backup battery kit. And other things to kind of include in is you can build a blackout kit. It's something that would just go in a little Tupperware bin or something you can slide under your bed or in the closet of your kids' rooms or your room, that you can just quickly get to flashlights, some clothes, blanket, cache. Like it's almost like a little bug out bag, and it can even be your bug out bag.
Sure.
But the blackout kit is for power outages, and you don't have to be searching through the house for all this stuff. It's right there under your bed. It's a good idea to do something like that for one of the most common things is a power outage.
And we've talked about those kits in depth in other episodes, but like you can wrap those in like that glow in the dark tape so you can find it in the dark because usually the power's out, right? So it's a really cool thing. We need to do another episode on those because they're fun.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're fun.
So, and then regularly check on things. Your kids like to take the flashlights out of everything and turn them on and leave them, put them back in the drawer. So
that's how it goes.
Checking on them to make sure that they're charged, and then it's not a bad idea to practice like a power outage simulation with your family so that you understand where stuff is and where to meet and stuff like that.
That's a great one. That's a great one, Cam. Good job. Number 7. I love this one. Emergency radio.
Yeah.
Anytime we get a battle box with a new emergency radio, I am stoked. Like I can't tell you, I love them for some reason. It's something because again, information is so critical in an emergency, and it's emergency radio is one of those essential things that just kind of gets overlooked sometimes because it feels old school.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean?
It totally does.
But it's not. In an emergency, it's so key. It's so important. And we're not talking about just any old radio, just like a random like transistor radio or something, you know what I mean? We're talking about a solid NOAA weather radio or crank radio that's going to keep you in the loop when all the other stuff is failing. That's why this thing is great, because they're fail safes. Because a smartphone, when the grid goes down and the towers go down, your smartphone becomes not very useful. No. You can take some photos until the thing dies. Yeah, flashlight until it dies, right? That's why you have an emergency radio, because all the backup, like the radio stations have backup power for them and for their towers, so they can send out that. The NOAA is continually sending out weather alerts and emergency broadcasts, and it's so critical when the internet goes down. You can still get information from very trusted sources, and that's why these are great. So NOAA weather radios, these are tuned to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. These broadcast 24/7 updates on severe weather, natural disasters, and then also other emergencies when they do happen. They're the fastest way to get reliable information straight from the source, and it's just like information. We don't have to hear anything. You don't have to hear ad reads or any of that stuff. It's just like straight, like exact.
After this ad, we'll tell you what. Surprise that doesn't happen.
It just gives you the facts about the things that are happening, right? So they're very important to have. And then they make ones that are crank and solar, and those are fantastic when the power is out, and you can continue to use those. Yeah. And you can use the sun as a power source, and you can just crank on them bad boys. And
that's the thing, is there's not, I don't even know that they make any emergency radio doesn't have a bunch of ports and ability to, it has like a battery, solar, and crank on it.
Yeah, and it's got ways to charge your smartphones or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
You also have a light on most of them, so they're fantastic. And they have weather radios that can just automatically turn on when you have an issue going on. So those are super fantastic. They're great obviously for things like hurricanes and wildfires and earthquakes. But even if you're camping or you're like on a road trip, and it can help you track weather conditions and road closures in
we just
local
listen to the
alerts.
radio half the time with the one that we have in
Heck yeah.
our camper.
Why not? You know what I mean? And you're going to still, if there's a power outage, you can still get the news. You can still get that important information that you need. Just make sure you find one that's an NOAA weather radio, and it has all of those extra features that you like, right? It's a small investment.
As well.
It's a small investment, but it's going to pay huge dividends when you actually have to use it.
Yeah.
Emergency radio.
You got to have the emergency radio in this list for sure.
Yep.
The other thing is, and this might, seem a little bit prehistoric or,
Sure.
but you need to have fire starting tools.
Dinosaurs. Oh, what?
Yeah, that's even way far back.
Oh, okay.
Like primitive is what I meant to say.
Okay.
So fire starting tools, we have most of us have central hair. Oh my gosh, central air.
I
and
definitely
heating.
have central hair.
I do too. It's all midline.
Right down the middle. It's like a racing stripe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it was a little creepy. You're like, yeah.
But yeah, the thing is we have instant on heat,
Yeah.
heaters and fireplaces. They're all just you turn it on and it's ready to go and it heats you up. If you don't know how to start a fire, in an emergency, it's you're gonna be panicking.
For
it's
sure.
crazy how hard.
It's not easy.
If you don't have the right tools to do it, and dealing with weather and everything else, it's going to be a lot harder.
We
than
went
you think.
camping the other day, and I gave my kids some ferro rods, and I was like, see if you can start a fire. They flipped those things for an hour and no fire.
Yeah.
One of them got it started for just a second. And I'm like, look, you've got to know what you're doing. You got to prepare to start a fire.
Yeah.
It's not, you just don't throw some sticks in there. Half of 80% of it is preparing the stuff for the fire.
You get the fire. You're building around the whole point of just making the fire go.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, you think, why do I need a fire? It's not like you're going to start a bonfire inside. You can do whatever you want. But,
hell yeah, I can.
You cook with fire. You protect with fire. You sterilize tools with fire. It's super important. And you need a reliable fire starting kit. And so, there are a lot out there. We highly recommend a couple of things. For one, a Bic lighter.
Yeah.
It's as simple as it gets.
So simple.
Instant fire, and it's storable. You can throw it in a bag. You can buy a pack of 5, 10, whatever. That's one of the easiest ways to start a fire. If you can't get it to burn, it's wet, you can hold the flame over it for, a few minutes.
Yep.
So definitely get a lighter. And if you haven't listened to us before, I'm pretty anti Zippo lighter.
Oh, yeah. I'm not big on Zippos.
I'm not a
either.
big fan.
No.
They're great when they
dry
have
up,
fuel in them, but they dry up, and so you
up.
have to constantly be changing out the fuel and all that. So just get a Bic lighter. The other thing is matches. Whatever type of matches, but I love the Zippo Strike Anywhere or whatever those what is it, the Harpoon or Typhoon?
Typhoon.
Those are so freaking amazing.
Yeah.
They're like a huge
missile.
They look like a
match missile.
like a British rocket from the 1800s.
It does, yeah.
But those suckers burn for a minute straight of
underwater.
Yeah.
Them suckers will go, dude.
They're waterproof. They're in a nice little tube that you can throw in any backpack. But those are a great thing to have. I've used them. Just starting stuff around the house, starting fires in the house,
like a laundry room fire.
Yeah,
I always get that going with.
I've had problems with my igniter on my fireplace and stuff going out. But those are just nice because they're long and you can stick them in tight spaces and start a fire.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Everybody's getting hot now. A little fire started on.
A little fire's going in the studio.
Yeah. Flint and steel, ferro rod, stuff like that. It's still useful to have because, that rod can be struck, 100 times?
Rod will always work. Yeah, you can
gotta
more
have
than
a
100.
big old rod.
More than 100.
Yeah. Then you can go to magnifying glass if you're a science nerd. Those are fun and usually all the bad kids
They're actually
are
really fun to do.
Yeah.
It's really fun to start a fire.
Burn all kinds of stuff. But the other thing is they have the pole start fire kits, and they have every time I go camping, I use some form of fire starter. Not not something to start like a
tinder.
light or something. I use a tinder. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, I use some form of tinder, and they have all kinds of options. They have like little bricks that you can break up. They have a pole start fire. I would get some of that stuff of any form. What's the most popular? Like one of the more popular ones is pure garbage. It's like
Instafire.
I hate that crap.
I don't like it either.
Yeah. The other thing is they have really nice tools. Like Smith's has a little tinder maker. Yeah. So it just shaves. It looks like a cheese grater, and it'll capture all the little
shavings,
the wood shavings. It makes things so much nicer.
Yeah.
It sounds super dumb because you usually have all these tools ready to go when you go camping, but you don't use them any other place. So it's like you buy them that day to go camping once or whatever. But you need to store some of this stuff. Because even though you're in a home, you're in a neighborhood, like fire starting is still going to be important of some form.
Yeah, what if you have to
be use?
Cook in the backyard? You don't have propane, you don't have gas, you don't have electricity. You can start a fire and cook a steak.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to burn.
Yeah, there really
you've got
is.
Books and you've got kids' papers and the stuff on the
clothing.
Fridge.
Yeah,
but you need a way to start it.
Yeah,
so
there's always
look into all these a fire starting tool and tinder and a way to make tinder, and you're good.
You downloaded the app? Is that what you're saying?
That too.
Tinder app?
That'll get things, that'll get fire going.
Oh my gosh, we're at number 9. You're not going to believe this, but it's survival manuals and books. Was that full or is that empty?
It's mostly empty.
Mostly empty. It's definitely empty now. So let's talk about that. This, again, seems a little bit old school. I don't want to look at no paper book. Read? I got it all up here.
I learned it up here.
Yeah. Basically, like today, it's so weird because we have Google for everything. You just Google something and you know everything ever right at your fingertips. But if that goes out, having a valuable, physical, no power source of information is so critical.
Yeah.
It really is, man. You can't remember everything. You can't know everything. And that's why survival manuals and books are, I think, a really important part of anybody's prepper stash, right? It's just so, and it's like a peace of mind. Like, I know that I have all these books. Like, I don't have to worry about, like, oh man, how many drops of Clorox do I put in?
It's the thing, and there's so much to know.
Don't have to worry about it because I know I have that information in my prepper library, right? I know, like, how do I treat this? I've got the preppers first, I got all this stuff in a book. It's just
in a book.
Take a look. It's in a book, right? Yeah. And they have stuff for like building a shelter and finding water, basic first aid, foraging for food. Like that's a lot of stuff to know.
That's the thing. There's so many skills and there's so little time.
Yeah.
Having the books and you do want to learn that stuff beforehand, but you're not going to get to it all.
No, you
can't.
But
you can reference it.
You have a life, I assume. It just can't be everything. And these are so important to have when things go down. A couple that we recommend. The SAS Survival Handbook. This is a classic one that most people recommend as well. It talks about everything from survival psychology to navigating with a compass, finding food, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of the end-all be-all when it comes to survival handbooks. Yeah. And then when you want to get into more wilderness survival stuff, obviously Bushcraft 101 from Dave Canterbury is a big one too. This is like, fire skills and bushcraft skills and setting up camps and all that kind of stuff is super duper important. The Prepper's Water Survival Guide, this is the one, like, there's so many weird little quirks when it comes to storing water and purifying water and all that kind of stuff. This book just goes through all of it, really simple. You don't have to try and remember all that stuff. Prepper's Medical Handbook. We've talked about it a million times.
Oh, yeah,
if you've ever listened to us, go get one of those things because it has so much good stuff. I mean, these survival manuals, just think of them as...
That's a great lineup. I like that.
Yeah, as part of your toolkit. You know what I mean? You can build your knowledge, but it's also just confidence knowing that that stuff is there when you need it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for me. And you can read those things. You can learn from them now if you want, but they're also there just when you need them.
Yeah.
When stuff
worst
goes
comes
down.
to worst, it's Tinder, right? Or toilet paper.
Exactly. So anyways, that's number 9.
Speaking of toilet paper.
Yes.
Number 10. This probably should have been number 9.
Probably, huh?
Personal hygiene items. So the importance of this, I think it gets overlooked a lot.
It does.
Because, when your deodorant runs out or shampoo, it's like, I'll just pick some up tomorrow or I'll put it on the shopping list.
Yep.
we don't stock up on this stuff very often. And I will not allow anyone into my prepper group that stinks like onions. B.O.
That's me. I'm sorry. If I eat onions, I smell like
just
onions.
B.O. Just
Okay.
B.O. You know, it
I will
smells
smell
like an
like B.O.
onion.
from time to time.
But like you will make life miserable for you, your
Yeah.
family, for everyone around you.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is like the health that comes along with it.
Yeah.
Hygiene leads to better health and avoidance of any medical conditions and diseases, teeth falling out, infections, stuff like that. So it's
Stuff in the folds of your skin.
crevices, folds, orifices.
That sounds gross to me.
You've got to
Grosses me
have
out.
good hygiene.
Yeah.
Because you're not always going to be able to take a shower every day. So you've got to have the supplies to make up the difference and buy you time till you can actually shower off. Stuff like that. But not only just like body, but you got to think about like teeth. You got to think about like female health stuff, like tampons. You know, can't tell you how many times in my life I've had to go to the store because we're out or we're traveling without stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yep.
not for myself,
Yeah.
for my loved one.
For your loved one.
But it's important stuff to store away now. Extra toothpaste, deodorants, soaps, hairbrushes if you like to brush your hair. But it's important, you know, get it all snaggled and nasty. Like, you just look like you got
Chest hair?
dreadlocks. That midline hair.
The midline hair. It goes
Yeah.
right down.
Comb
the
it.
middle. Yep.
Razors, shaving cream, nail clippers. I hate when my nails are like long.
Do you?
And it's like,
I bite mine, unfortunately.
I'm not a biter. So, like having all this stuff ready to go, backup part of your survival plan is super important. Sanitation, toilet paper, super important.
So big.
Obstetric wipes are important, like because it's easy to use stuff that it's also disposable and it's not gonna, you know, you're not using your book, your
Exactly.
survival book.
Exactly.
You don't want to use that stuff. They even have I always forget the name of that. Those big like towel like wipes that you can basically take a shower with.
Oh, yeah. Like or the Dude wipes or the Epic wipes.
Yeah,
all
they're
that
so
stuff.
nice
Yeah.
to have because you can wipe down your entire body with this like wet towel, and then it's disposable and biodegradable. Other things to consider, and we've kind of talked about this in the past and other medical tips is like, you know, long term, like think about birth control, pregnancy tests,
For sure.
dental repair kits that you can get over the counter, and medicines and stuff that go along with that. It kind of is included in the hygiene prepping.
Yeah.
And then water is a big part of hygiene. And so that's why we talk about that addition, that full gallon. It's like you're not drinking a full gallon a day, which you probably should, but the addition is to like wash clothes, your hair, your body. And so making sure, again, with the hygiene that you have enough water to keep yourself clean and sanitize things is super important. So yeah, make sure
That's a good
you
one.
have a backup of those supplies. I have more than enough shampoo and conditioner
I do too.
for like probably 16.
Every time you go to a hotel,
to
you bring
20
some home.
years.
I do. But yeah, your wife has pretty much everything.
Yeah, for every color, every
Every day of the week.
shade, every you know, oily, dry, flaky scalp, you know, whatever. I've got shampoo for
Depression hair.
it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, make sure you get that stuff. One other thing I didn't mention is you can buy like urinary tract infection test strips.
Oh, yeah.
You can buy Azo, which helps with like urinary tract infections and itchiness, Vagisil. Like that's stuff that you just don't use regularly.
Yeah.
If you're using it regularly, probably go to your doctor.
Yeah,
but those are all things that are included in like sanitation and infection that you can include in this kit.
Yeah.
So make sure you get that stuff.
That's great. I like
Yeah.
that. That's number 10. Wow. That was all of them.
That was a good one.
Very cool.
You know what else is good?
What?
Avoiding cybercrime.
I agree.
Yeah. So all of us,
Mm-hmm.
all of our social security numbers are basically out there now.
They're out in the world.
Yeah. So
Good luck.
consider that you'll probably at some point have a cyber attack against you if you haven't already. I mean, today there are over 2,200 cyber attacks every day,
Yeah.
one every 39 seconds.
Yep. There'll be
And
several. in
we
this.
know that these countries that dislike us, like North Korea, Russia, China, they
Canada.
are investing a ton. Yeah. They're investing a ton in cyber crime to, breach data, phishing attacks, and all that. But you can protect yourself. Did you know that? You can get Surfshark, a virtual private network, to turn on your phone, on your computer, whatever device connects to the internet, and shield yourself from online threats. The internet has a lot of ads and a lot of things you accidentally click on and a lot of phishing emails. But there is a way that you can protect yourself. And I would recommend everyone check out Surfshark because it's one of the easiest to use. It's inexpensive for how long you get it because with our code, you go to surfshark.deal/casual preppers and you can get 24 months. Plus, they'll throw in, is it 3 or 4 months?
It might be 4 months right now.
But over 2 years of protection for less than $60. You're not going to beat it.
No, you won't.
And I'm telling you, it is one of the easiest things to use. If you travel a lot, if you're using public Wi-Fi often for school, airports, whatever, you need to be protected. And this is by far one of the easiest ways. I have purchased it twice out of my own pocket because of how easy it is to use. Also, you can use it for entertainment. I connect to some of the servers in England and watch soccer all the time.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
Check it out. Go get it.
Go get Surfshark.
Surfshark.deals/casual preppers. Get you a full 2+ years of protection.
Beautiful. I wanted to talk about a few tips when you're building out this kit because, look, this isn't one size fits all. Every kit is going to be unique when you're doing this, right? And it's all going to be pretty much based on your personal needs, your needs. So start thinking about your daily life. You know, what are the most likely situations you might face? Are you on the road all the time? You know, obviously a car kit is going to be a huge deal for you, right? You have kids? Well, good luck. You're probably going to die soon with all those kids. But, you need like extra snacks and diapers and meds and all those kind of things.
Mentally, you will die.
Mentally, death is upon you. And consider your family size. Do you have 15 kids in your house? You're a crazy person. Do you have 3, 5, 6, whatever? You're going to need more food and water depending on what that is. And then you're going to have specific needs for all those friggin' kids, special dietary requirements. So you maybe got a pet or two in there. So think about that. Location is very, very important when you're doing this kit too, right? Are you in a city? Are you in a rural area? Are you somewhere in between? Do you live in a flood zone? There's things that you have to consider when buying these items when you're doing this, right? Are you in a cold area? You need to focus on that kind of stuff. There's going to be a lot of different challenges that come with your location as well. And really what I'm talking about is a prepper risk assessment here, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about that before and build this kit specifically based on that risk assessment. And again, you don't have to be Elon Musk. You don't have to have, everything on day one when you're doing this. You can find many affordable options online or at dollar stores for a lot of this stuff. Yeah. Gradually add items as your budget allows. You don't have to do this all at once because a little bit will go a long way, and just kind of do this incrementally. And then don't forget to regularly update your kit. You can't just buy one thing and feel like you're good forever, right? You have to check on those supplies, check on this gear every 6 months or so at least. Cam talked about the expiration on food and stuff, but there's also expiration on batteries. There's expiration on medications. A lot of this stuff might degrade over time, so you have to be watching it and adjusting that kit as you go. Maybe you get a new baby. Maybe you move. Maybe there's new medical conditions that have come. Now you have to alter it again, right? So it's a constant process. It's not just buying these 10 items and you're good to go, right?
Yeah.
It's a process, and you have to keep on looking at it as you go along in time.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah. And beginning, don't get caught up in all, we had a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, we did.
It really is pretty basic stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's
honestly.
very basic, yeah.
And just think, what's going to keep you alive and keep you comfortable? Mm-hmm. If you think about those two things, you're going to be able to build a plan pretty easily. Mm-hmm. Food, water, and then some gear and protection and lighting. You're set. So don't get caught up too much in all the details of how to store the water and what food in particular. Just start building something now. And that means it can be as simple as, like I was saying, just add a few items to your regular grocery shopping, which for me and my family, that's every other day.
Oh, it feels like it.
So we would have tons of food if we did that. But
yeah,
adding little bits at a time, putting it away for storage, you'll be better off than most people. Keeping you away from becoming more self-reliant is hugely important. Really? And the other thing is don't get caught up in how much in spending. Like, even if you set aside $10 a month, like there are places like the dollar store where you can get jugs of water. You can buy some medicine there. I mean, this is the cheaper stuff, but you really can prep pretty easily for dirt cheap. Yeah. And then eventually build into more higher quality gear and stuff like that. So keep it simple. It's not that complicated. No. You're already surviving every day as it is.
Yeah.
Just add a few extra things.
You've kept yourself alive till now.
Yeah. And then after doing that for a couple of weeks, I guarantee you'll be better set than most people.
I agree too. And hopefully we do have a lot of new preppers on the episode today listening. So there's a couple other things I just want to mention as you're going out and starting your preparedness journey here. Some things to consider. Number one is an emergency plan. Yeah, I harp on this all the time, but it's very simple. It's inexpensive.
All this falls apart without it.
Without a plan. It's very simple. It's actually cheap. It's free, pretty much. It includes like evacuation routes, meeting points, key contacts, and a plan for when things do go down for you and your family. Consider doing one of those. It takes like 20 minutes, really, if you want to.
We discussed it this week at dinner. Like my kids, I was like, do you know what phone numbers to call?
Yeah.
Do you know them, in your mind without looking at the phone? Like, stuff like that.
Exactly. It's a great thing to think about. Another thing is health. This is a very hard topic for a lot of people, but we talked about first aid and basic first aid. That's obviously, a part of this, and we talked about essential medications, but are you fit? Are you in a state where if an emergency hit, you could do the things physically that you need to do? Are you healthy enough to get through something like this? It's really key. Health is so important, and that's physical health, that's mental health, that's all of those things. Consider that as part of this. And another one that's hard is finances, and we harp on this all the time, but you need to have an emergency emergency fund. But, there's things that come up, car repairs and, doctor's bills and those things, and you really can't be a great prepper if your finances are a mess. Yeah. So look at that. That's one of the first things you should be considering. Get those things in order. And part of that is cash. Having some cash on hand is a really big deal. The power goes out. You can't get to the ATM. The card readers aren't working. You have some cash. You can still get through that little thing. And a thing that I harp on all the time too is self-defense, right? Obviously, a big thing with preppers is firearms, and that's great, and that's definitely something to consider. Also, just basic self-defense training. Understand how to defend yourself. If you don't have a gun, can you deal with somebody who's attacking you or your family? It scares the crap out of me. It's something that just absolutely terrifies me that I won't be able to protect them if something happens. So consider that as part of the plan.
Yeah, okay. That's great. No, those are good things to finish on.
I think so too. Also, today's podcast is brought to you by TacPack, Cameron. Yeah, it's the only tactical subscription box with useful professional grade stuff inside. Use our code Casual Preppers. You're going to get a free $70 machine-made part from Next Level Armament. If you like ARs, if you like EDC, if you like cool stuff, TacPack's really going to be the place to be. So go get it. TacPack. Use our code Casual Preppers. We do have a couple of quick reviews I'd like to do, Cameron. You want to start with Battle Box? We have the latest Battle Box. This is mission
read 2 items, right?
115. That's right. Yeah. We have the Bushcraft Coffee Company coffee. That's kind of cool. Everybody needs some coffee in their life. Everybody loves coffee. How about the Simple Strap 1-inch by 20-foot roll? This stuff is actually really cool. It works really well for strapping stuff down, and you don't have to like tie it. You don't have to do anything.
Oh,
it just
dude,
like
I can't tell you
self-adheres.
how much I have like a huge from Battle Box.
Yeah.
We use it all the time.
It's good stuff,
crazy
man.
how well it works.
Yeah. The Wazoo Cash Cap. This is a hat that can store like basically a bug out bag in it. It's pretty cool. And you go to the advanced box, and you got the Outdoor Element Contour Feather Knife. It's a beautiful little knife.
It's just a big peacock feather with a knife at the end
exactly.
of it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Then we have the Outdoor Element Omni Tensile Pack.
This
is like everything you need for eating out on a go.
That's cool. Chopsticks, man.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty neat.
And a little straw.
Yep.
Toothbrush. That's pretty cool.
Yep. And then we go to the Pro Box. We have the M1 Maverick Bifold Wallet Spec Ops Dango, baby.
Jeez.
No, it's in the other. Yep, there it is. Dango wallet. These things are fantastic.
Man, I still use one. I've had it for like 3 years.
Mm-hmm. And then for the Pro Plus Knife of the Month, we have the Battle Box Limited Edition Catch a Can by Russ Calmer. It's a cool little knife.
Get you if it can.
Get you can. And it's got a little leather sheath to it. Pretty freaking sweet. Use our code Casual Preppers and you're going to get a free knife with your first box. Knives are cool.
Knives
we love
are
them.
cool.
Also, we did get some books from the Professional Citizen Project. I just wanted to mention them. They're really cool little guides if you're looking
I love
to
the look of them.
I know they're really cool to be more prepared, right? They're pretty darn cool. And you can go check them out at tpcproject.com.
Land navigation, teenager prepper, reconnaissance, rifle and carbine. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Really cool little books that just basically we talked about survival manuals being a big deal. That's exactly what those are. So tpcproject.com. Well, I think that's all we got, Cam.
I have one quick.
Do you want to do that real quick?
I'll do it super fast.
It's time for the quick and dirty medical tip.
So, poisoning is real. Okay. You can poison yourself.
Don't tell my wife about
And I
that.
just was going to mention, I almost poisoned myself at one point when I was siphoning gas from a snowmobile.
You did.
So what do you do with that? A lot of petroleum-based products, if you ingest, are not that harmful, surprisingly. So if you happen,
don't
I'm just
go
saying,
drink
as a
it.
prepper and you're scavenging and siphoning fuel and you swallow some, don't freak out. It's not going to kill you. But if you inhale a little bit, probably kill you. So that's why you don't want to induce vomiting. But the whole thing I wanted to mention is activated charcoal. Do you have any?
I think I do have some, actually.
I think I have a little, but honestly, it is super important to have. And so this whole medical tip is based on just getting you some activated charcoal. So even though the petroleum poisoning isn't very common with gastrointestinal, but there's a lot of other things, food poisoning, plant poison ingestion, like if you have some activated charcoal, make it into a slurry and drink it. And I would just say the most important thing about it is have it because you may need to use it and print a guide out on how to use it. Because it's kind of essential to survivalism, because it absorbs the toxins and anything that you happen to ingest. And it also can be used for gas, skin care, wound care, diarrhea, water filtration. I mean, it's very useful to have. We haven't mentioned it very much, so I just wanted to throw it in the medical tip.
Cool.
That you could be poisoned, and so you want to have some activated charcoal.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Also, not medical advice.
Nope, don't.
Thank you.
Don't listen to any of that.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you haven't yet, please hit subscribe. We appreciate you hanging around. Go check out our sponsors. Go check out our other podcast called This Podcast is a Secret. We just released an episode on Skinwalker Ranch. It's delicious.
I'm telling you, you're going to be excited to be listening during October.
We got some great stuff for October, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
It's good. All right, guys, thanks. Stay survived.